For our first story, we have my wife, 38 female, told me, 44 male, that she doesn't need a fourth child, meaning me, after I opened up about a painful situation I am going through. We've been together for 18 years, married for 12, and although we struggled over the past 18 months, I thought we had worked through it. We went to therapy, had deep conversations, and shared good times as a family with our 3 kids, 10 female, 8F, 4F. There have still been ups and downs in the last few months, but I was starting to feel uneasy again. Lately, work has been stressful, and I've been away from my family for 3 weeks. Yesterday marked the first anniversary of my dad's passing, and during a video call with my wife, I told her I missed my family and my dad and that I was feeling depressed. Instead of support, she got angry, probably because she was having a stressful day with the kids. When I tried to talk to her today, she just said she doesn't need a fourth child. Now I'm sitting here alone, crying, with no one from my family to talk to. I can't help but feel like this is a sign that our marriage is over? That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, looking at your previous post, where you said that you did not take the job that would require you to be away from home for 21 days each month. It seems like you did take the job. Additionally, in your previous post, your wife carried your family financially for months while you were out of work and trying to find a new job. On top of which, you expected her to quit the most fun part of her job so you could take a job which requires her to do all the parenting for 3/4 of every month. When is the last time your wife has had a solid 8 hours away from your children? When is the last time you did something nice for her without expecting anything in return? Parenting is hard work when there are 2 parents working at it every day. Parenting 3 children solo for 3 weeks is a lot. I absolutely have sympathy for you on the anniversary of your father's death, but you have totally been dropping the majority of the mental load on your wife for years. At some point, everybody will break. Our second commenter says, you uprooted and moved your family overseas, struggled, and then finally got your dream job that involved you being gone for 21 days every month, which your wife said no to. Looks like you did it anyway even though your wife said no? She's making sacrifice after sacrifice, and now she's a single mother 3 weeks every month to 3 kids including a toddler. I'm assuming that's what your struggles have been for 18 months since you posted about it 2 years ago. Your marriage is over because you expect too much from your wife and take. Set her free. Edit. Oh, and she supported you and the kids when you lost your job. She got a job she loved apparently, and you made her give it up so she could be a single mom 3 weeks a month. LMAO, this post is missing a lot of key details. Our third commenter says, so you left her alone with 3 kids for weeks and then demanded emotional support on phone calls? Read the room, buddy. I'm sorry your dad died and it is a difficult time for you, but surely you have siblings or friends you can vent to. From your Grand 2 post history, it looks like you spend quite a bit of time worrying about what you want and how your wife can better support you while not caring much about what she wants or needs. Not shocking you are having issues. For our second story, we have how to navigate meals with my 31 female chicken nugget boyfriend, 37 male. I've moved in with my boyfriend of 2 years, Eric, and we've agreed to split cooking 50-50, which means 1 week I cook all the meals and the next week, he cooks all the meals. To say he is a chicken nugget boyfriend is hyperbolic, but to put it into context, I grew up with a French chef for a dad, so I've learned to cook good, varied and healthy meals. My boyfriend can make spaghetti, chili con carne and other quite basic meat and veg sort of dishes. I'm not trying to make mad elaborate dishes like coq au vin or anything, but he doesn't like any kind of fish unless it's breaded, so no salmon, mackerel or anything like that. Can't serve any meat that is on the bone, so no wings, chicken thighs or anything soups that require a meat broth. For vegetables I can't go too elaborate either, broccoli, peas, carrot fine. Took the first year to get him to eat a salad. Recently he came to visit my family in France for Christmas, where my chef dad wanted to make a huge elaborate meal for us and I had to veto basically everything except classic meat and veg, which was a bit embarrassing, and was served on the bone, which he ate. Closing parenthesis exclamation mark. If forced, i.e. in front of dad, he will eat everything and always enjoys it. I would like a healthy, varied diet, and on the weeks I cook, I'd like to try new recipes, Thai, Vietnamese, fish dishes etc., and I don't know whether it's unfair to just cook what I like and tell him to lump it, or to cater for him when it's my week to cook and just do what I know he'll eat. His cooking weeks are pretty basic, but I don't complain. However, I'd like to do what I want when it's my week. Any thoughts? That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, greater than if forced, i.e. in front of dad. He will eat everything and always enjoys it. Then I don't think you need to concern yourself with him starving if you decide to take a risk sometimes. Not to mention he's a big boy and can fix himself a sandwich or some spaghetti if he doesn't like what's on offer. If you feel bad about just plopping something new in front of him and telling him to deal, though, maybe ask him if he'll agree to 1 to 2 nights a week where you might push things out of his comfort zone and he gives it a fair shot. Hopefully he'll like at least some of those meals enough that you can add them to the rotation, or up the frequency of experimentation. Another way to ease him into it might be to use ingredients he's comfortable with, but in new preparations. Our second commenter says, if it was me I would probably re-evaluate the cooking split. My roommate is picky, but there are also meals we both like and we like eating together. The day we go grocery shopping we'll talk on if there are any shared meals we both like that we want to have during the upcoming week and when. The other days, or all the days if no shared upon meals are wanted that week, we cook separately. I know it's just a roommate and not a significant other, but you could look into doing something like that. Or just always plan to each cook and clean your own meal. Our third commenter says, I'd cook what you want to cook, he'll either eat it, go hungry or make himself something. For our last story, we have Mike, male 25, girlfriend, female 24, is frustrated that I ask for sex, even though I always take no well. We've been together for a few months, and I'm her first. I love focusing on my partner, so she has been very satisfied with sex. However, for the past several weeks, she's been really busy and tired, and we haven't had sex in over a month. Every 1 to 2 days, I ask if she wants to go somewhere to be intimate. When she says no, I always respond with, okay, no problem, love, and I genuinely mean it. I don't show disappointment or pressure her in any way. I respect her boundaries, and I'm completely fine with no as an answer. Recently, she got frustrated and said, why do you keep asking when you know the answer is no? I'm busy and tired. I replied, I'm always okay with you declining, but managing your emotions on top of mine isn't my responsibility. You need to be able to say no comfortably, just as my emotions are as important as yours. She called me insensitive, and I didn't know how to respond, so I just went silent. I don't want to pressure her, and I always respect her space. But at the same time, I feel like I'm in a tough spot if I don't ask at all. It feels like suppressing my needs, but asking seems to annoy her. Any advice and perspectives are well appreciated. Update. We are very intimate on each other at every spot we find without people, sending nudes, kissing etc. She initiates a good portion. We live with families so spontaneous sex is not possible. We need to go to a hotel, short trips as she has no time. We are constantly going to dates every free time we find. We are very affectionate and loving to each other. I'm going to her workplace as she couldn't find time to come to dates, help her, massage her when she is tired, study next to her even though I don't need it. I never said a word anytime she cancels a plan and always said your work and school are your first priorities, don't worry. Trying to make group plans with her friends so she feels she does not feel like neglecting them. If she cancels our plans for them I say it's okay, we have our time, don't worry. I started asking regularly this last week after 3 to 4 dry weeks. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, it sounds like asking every 1 to 2 days when the answer has consistently been no and nothing has really changed about her life circumstances in the interim is feeling like pressure to her. What you need to do is sit down with her when you're not feeling horny. Acknowledge that sex doesn't seem like a priority right now and you don't want to come across like a pest about it. But at the same time you don't want to give up on intimacy completely and you'd like to know if there's a better way for the two of you to navigate this. If she keeps telling you to leave her alone about it, then I think it's time to manage your own feelings on the subject by accepting it's just not happening and start making plans to go. Our second commenter says, I'ma say this, man. If you're in a few months old relationship and you're a month dry, that's already a huge portion of the relationship. I say that to say I don't know if you have enough data to know how well matched up your sexual drives and desires are. If I were you, I'd ask her, at a time when you're not crazy horny and she's not overstressed, what she wants your sexual life to look like. And if there's anything she wants from sex and how she likes sex initiated. And ask yourself the same questions and potentially be ready to tell her those answers. Because my thought is, a couple months in and your sex drives are already mismatched. I've been in a relationship like that and it was terrible. And I kept trying to make it work. I wish I'd just had the above conversation with her and then moved on. Because at the center of our relationship was mismatched desire, among many other issues TBF, and I wish I had realized and had the emotional maturity to understand we just had differing needs and that's okay. So yeah, ask, what's your ideal sexual life, routine? How do you like sex initiated, and why do you want to have sex or like having sex to yourself and her? And potentially you can come to a place where you have understanding of what you want sexually. For example, I find it strange you can't have sex at family houses. As someone who lives at home, as does my partner, we just do it in our bedrooms. Granted, my partner is a twin who shared a room for a while, so we had to be more creative then. But getting a hotel every time sounds like a load of work, and is probably adding to the stress and pressure that your girlfriend feels. Even like car sex is an option, but in the situation you're currently in now, I think, if your relationship is gonna continue, and no guarantee about that, you should discuss how to make having sex easier and less stressful than having to have a mini vacation. Turns it from an hour exercise into an all-night, half-a-day exercise, and she might feel, correctly, that she doesn't have time for that. I think inherent to the conversation you have too is a conversation about initiation. Cause when there's no conversation there, you end up in situations like this where it's easy for people to feel pressured, rejected, unheard, etc. So definitely talk about, and ask yourself, how you want to initiate sex and what makes you feel loved, cared for, seen and respected. Universal you hear, so you and her, obviously. Last thing, sex is about pleasure, not performance. I don't know you, so this could be totally off base, but sometimes, focusing on partner's pleasure can also come with a pressure for the partner to perform said pleasure to you that adds pressure or emotional difficulty to sex. Focusing on just the pleasure of sex and non-penetrative acts of intimacy, rather than things with the goal of orgasm, or multiple orgasms, or a pressure to perform enjoyment can sometimes take pressure off of sex for people, and again that goes both ways. Hope this and the other comments help. Good luck OP. Our third commenter says, while you're trying to be very conscious of not pressuring her, even asking can feel like pressuring, especially if she's already under pressure. It sounds like she's been under a great deal of stress. She doesn't want to make you unhappy or feel rejected any more than you want to bother her. Failing to say yes to you may make her afraid she's upsetting you and you're just saying it's okay. You may know that's not the case, but we're talking about emotions and sex. There's not a lot of logic happening here. Have a talk with her about this. Ask her what this situation makes her feel and why. Then, shut up and let her answer fully. Don't try to fix anything, just listen to her. It may help to give her a chance to vent and emo dump and feel heard. This may not get you sex, but it will definitely get you intimacy. You're giving her a chance to be real and honest and vulnerable with you. If you show love and acceptance and respect, it'll go a long way towards making her feel better. Then, at the end of the day, instead of carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders and feeling like she's disappointing you and risking losing you, she'll feel supported, like you're helping her carry her burden with her and she can trust and rely on you. If she feels you're the supportive, trustworthy, safe, and reliable BF that she can be relaxed and vulnerable with, she's likely to feel way more randy when given the opportunity. I heard a sex therapist phrase it as, communication is lubrication. That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.